Hey guys, welcome back to the Dialed In Podcast. This is the low equity edition. Today we're joined by Bob, Michael, and Suzette. Suzette's going to be back here in about a minute or so. As always, we are sponsored by RocketBotLeads.ai. They provide us with day one MLS direct low equity listings that we hit probably 10 to 14 days before PropStream gets it or any of the other data aggregators. So we're very thankful for them to provide those leads for us. Bob's been here a few times before. Let's start with Bob. Bob, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're looking for, and how people can work with you.
Hi, so my name is Bob. I operate out of Austin, Texas. I have 15 long-term rentals, so some in San Antonio, some in Austin, some in Round Rock, one down on the coast. I've done some multifamily stuff, but don't like the debt market for that right now. So I'm looking, I guess, for two things, one of which is more long-term rentals. I can always do that, provided I can get the cash flow, which is a challenge. I'm also beginning to think about co-living kind of properties. Those have some other things to work with. But anyway, I'd be happy to work for folks. If something comes up in the Texas area, give me a call. I might be able to help out. I've got Privy, which is a different platform, but the nice thing about Privy is it gives MLS data, and it's really easy to comp properties because you get the sales data within MLS. So if you need something in Texas to be comped, I can probably help with that. I guess that's it. No sound, Mike.
Yeah, you're muted.
Thank you, guys. User error. Bob, what are you looking for specifically? If someone brings you a deal, what would fit your buy box?
So I guess there's two things. One of which is a standard long-term rental for me, which is a 3-2. I prefer a 2-car garage. I can deal with one about 1,500-ish to 2,000-ish square feet. I probably wouldn't keep one that needs a lot of work, but I could flip one to someone I know who does flips. So for me, it needs to be, if I'm going to buy it and keep it, it needs to be minimally work. I don't mean a lot of work. I don't mean no work. I need to be able to get it up rent ready, which is not high end everything. The way we see on some flips, I need to get it rent ready. And after I do that, I need to be able to cash flow on it. So that's what I'm looking for that. The co-living stuff it's interesting. I'm starting to do some work with Jamil, and those are pretty much similar kind of properties, except he looks for DSD plushes neighborhoods on busy streets and up against commercial because no one buying retail is interested in those. That's not the kind of property that I would want for a long-term rental because long-term tenants don't like that way. But co-living does. So those two things.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Michael, you're a newbie. You're muted. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've been in SubTo for about a year. My ex-wife is my partner, and we've been fractional in a couple different deals, mostly just wholesaling, working pretty much the Texas market because I'm up in the Northwest and up in Vancouver, Washington, and the prices up here don't make things too conducive to the whole SubTo thing, and just having enough meat on the bone once everything's done to move any direction. Eventually looking to get into to buy and hold, but right now just working on the wholesale, getting sharpen up the skills there. We have LOI Blaster. I don't know if you know about that. We've been doing that for a little bit and had some marginal success with it. Just kind of refining how we use that data.
Explain to me a little bit more about how you're using the LOI Blaster. A lot of people use it differently. So are you using it for low equity leads or any other type of lead?
Actually, both. I mean, the low equity is a little bit easier with just because, I mean, people have a little bit more pain there. We have one deal that we're still working in in the Austin area, it's a $1 million home. So the people have gone back and forth. They want to, they don't want to. So we've kind of got them down to about 3.5% on the interest rate, but they're waiting for they want to wait for spring because they want something conventional. So we'll just keep following up on that one and hopefully something pans out.
So maybe what you should do, Michael, is change your background to look more like spring, just to kind of wish it into existence. Halloween. And then, the other thing too is that Bob's here. Bob could potentially be your buyer for that, maybe, if it cash flows and if it makes sense.
Okay. I didn't know what the price is on his buy box there. It's they get they get crazy real fast.
You can't tell. Bob's buy box goes up to about 10 million or so. So
nice.
It's pretty wide open. Suzette, are you back?
Yes. Excuse me. A new printer as of 48 hours ago. I haven't used it, so I just figured it out.
So normally, Suzette,
go ahead.
Normally, I would spotlight you, but since we look at purple and pink today, I'm not going to spotlight you. But tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're located, how people can work with you, and what you're currently focusing on.
Yes. So I'm located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and very new to SubTo. Actually, I've been just doing the No One Left Behind twice. So we're still in the midst of that, honestly. So that's what encouraged me to see what this was about. We have done some private money lending. Like we've got one that we're working on right now. And I really want to get into pre-foreclosures. That is, and just various areas of the country, bigger cities. I was going to focus in my area and probably I'm thinking Phoenix or Georgia. I'm just studying that presently. So, and I'm learning to connect. I've got someone training me right now.
Very cool. What are you making for lunch?
my husband just walked in and he's sipping on his coffee.
Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you guys joining always. So thank you for showing up today. You three have a list. Bob, you're going to start at the top. Michael, bottom. Suzette, you're going to start in the middle, and we'll make some calls together. But before we do that, Bob, did you want me to make a phone call before we get started?
Sure.
Let me grab my phone.
Great.
Is it dead? No, it's right. So, Bob, give us some background on this phone call.
Okay, let me. I've got so many lists highlighted up here. Let me find it. So there's really two calls that I found interesting. The first one I called. It's a property in Florida, and the agent answered the phone. He said something like, he's very not quite brusque, but businesslike, articulate. He said, "So are you thinking about SubTo?" And so I said something brilliant like, "Well, I do SubTo. There are other things. Would that work for this property?" And he went on to tell me he knew SubTo, he's done SubTo, he knows pace, blah, 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 blah. And he thinks the seller would be open to SubTo. But his job is to vet me. So I need to prove who I am. I need to prove the SubTo deals I do. I need to send him documentation of all that, blah, blah, blah. It was very polite. He was not in my face. He's not, I guess, what we call a red agent. But he was very businesslike. He didn't particularly want to chat. He just wanted to give me that information. I said, "Great, thank you. Let me see what I can put together." Because I've got 15 long-term rentals, but that's not going to get vetted with him as a SubTo experienced person. But Mike might be. So I thought,
we'll see. We will see. Can you do me a favor and can you drop his phone number in the chat?
Sure. Let's see. I don't know how. Oh, there's chat up there. I got to go back and find the.
Microwave or a phone?
Say again?
Just kidding. It wasn't for you, Bob. I was joking that might have been a microwave.
Okay.
It
Copy.
really is.
Could be.
He's a sippy guy today.
Yay, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. He says thank you.
That's 25 years or 20 years younger than me.
We're doing some serious tabulations today
Yeah.
in areas we didn't realize we'd be in.
All right, Bob, I got it. So Terra Sinesta.
Right.
Okay, I'll call him. David Weiss, right?
I believe so. Let me look at it.
Yep, it says right here. I got
Yeah,
it.
that's it. That would be it then.
Okay, cool.
Because I just pasted from the call list. Here's another one if you want to call, but do that one first.
Both those are the same.
Oh, I copied and pasted, but it didn't copy and paste.
You know what we'll do, Bob? I've
Okay.
actually talked with David Weiss before.
Okay.
So let's.
Oh, no.
We'll talk about that separately.
Okay.
And then give me the second one. We'll call that one.
I just realized I cut and pasted. Oh, here it is right here. Never mind.
So give me the background on this other one right here.
So this is an agent that I called. He didn't know a whole lot about.
Brian.
He didn't know a whole lot about SubTo. He was willing to say that he was okay with that, but he thought maybe the seller might be. Is it the same one? No, it was Robert Townsend. Yeah, and so I followed the plan that you suggested by making a follow-up video to him. I didn't push Sub too much. I just told him, 5 minutes worth of background, or probably less. He had said he would be willing to present anything like that to the seller. So I sat on it for today, and I've texted him back a couple times. He didn't respond to my initial text or the initial video. He didn't respond to any follow-up text. He doesn't answer my phone. So.
Okay. What's the address on that house?
It keeps giving it same.
Yeah, I was Googling his email address to help you out a little bit, but I couldn't find.
So I don't know what the heck is going on. Let me figure out again. Oh, I cut and pasted. Oh, and I cut and pasted the other one in there. I don't know how to recover from that.
It's okay. Bob, it's okay. I got his phone number right here. I'm going to give him a call right now.
Okay.
You're attempting to use has been restricted or is unavailable.
Let's try that again.
Attempting to use has been restricted or is unavailable. Please contact customer care for assistance.
Let me see if I can find a different phone number for him.
So I think I got it back. Let me figure out here. Oh, come on. I sorted the list, then I had to go back and.
Is that the number I called? 96. Oh, I think I got it.
It's Robert Townsend.
Hey, Robert, it's Mike Jackson. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. My partner Bob spoke with you a few days ago about a listing that you have. I don't have all the information in front of me, but I think it was a low equity listing. Does that ring a bell at all?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Tell me what's going on.
It's listed for sale right now.
Okay.
$390.
And he gave you a call, and I guess he talked to you about potentially taking over payments on the mortgage, right?
Yes. My seller's not interested. He just wants to sell it outright. He doesn't want to do a SubTo or creative financing.
Got it. First of all, I love how you understand the term creative financing, by the way. There are so few agents who understand that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Have you ever done a deal like that before? It sounds like you might.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Tell me about it. What'd you do?
Just did a couple of SubTos, but again, this seller is not interested at all. So if I do have another seller, I'll definitely pass them along for sure.
Yeah, I love that. First of all, the other SubTos that you've done, were you the buyer on those, or did you act as the agent?
Seller, represent the seller.
Okay. And those situations, were those different? Were those like VA loans? Were those FHA loans?
VA.
Mm-hmm. And the one Bob was calling you about was also a VA?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And those transactions went smoothly?
Absolutely.
That's great. Okay. Okay, cool. So is that typically the market that you work in, the market?
Yeah, I'm in the Middle Tennessee area, Clarksville, Nashville area. Clarksville is pretty much mostly VA. About 95% of my transactions in Clarksville is VA. Due to being Fort Campbell, Fort Campbell right there.
Yep. That's so interesting. A lot of the deals that we've been doing in Tennessee are in Clarksville. A lot of them are right around there.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Are you? I'm just asking a question. This is kind of like more of a friendly question than anything else. But why do you think that those houses sell, SubTo, for example, versus traditional sale? Are those just low equity types of opportunities?
Yeah, just low equity. Probably, had the property for less than 2 years, but needing to sell because they're PCS'd and kind of will walk away versus waiting for a buyer. The investors kind of jump on it pretty quick, and it just made sense for them to where they're not paying like 2 mortgages, because 9 times every transaction that I did, the seller, was already out the property, so the property was vacant,
Mm-hmm.
and it just made sense for them.
Got it. Yeah, that's a real pain, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And so the house that Bob was calling you on, what do you think the seller's concern is about SubTo?
He just wants the loan. He just wants to be done with it so he can actually buy where he is at and free up his full entitlement.
Got it. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Where's he moving to?
Kansas. He's already there.
Oh, he is? Has he bought already or no?
And no, he's waiting on this one. That way he can get the amount that he needs, because he does have a little bit more entitlement left, but he just needs to free up a little bit more.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So the loan that is currently on that property, you said it's about $390 sales price, right?
Yes, we are asking $390 for it. He bought it for $362 in 2022,
and probably financed 100% of it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he probably has something like $400,000 or so left in his entitlement. Does that sound about right?
I'm not really sure how much left he has in entitlement, but I do know the conversation that we had, he needs more.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was where my brain kind of went on that is I would assume that Kansas, depending on a few different areas, of course, but I would assume that Clarksville might be a little bit more expensive than Kansas. And so there might be an opportunity for him just to still use his entitlement, but I need all of it, I guess, is kind of where I was going with that. Robert, did I lose you?
I'm sorry about that. What's going on? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
That's okay. What I was saying is that I was assuming since he was moving to Kansas that you wouldn't be buying $1 million home in Kansas, and there might be enough entitlement remaining to use his VA benefits.
From my understanding, no. He actually needs to free up this one to actually buy. So he's out there actually renting on a month-to-month into this one's sale.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. How are the listings going so far? That one particular, have you gotten a lot of activity on it?
It's showing. It's showing pretty consistently. We have about we've been on the market for less than a month, but we've had about I would say about 8 showings so far. And
what's the feedback been?
It's been pretty good. We haven't really had any negative feedback. Just more so, it's in a desirable neighborhood area. Close to. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Clarksville, but it's in the single area. Property is in pretty good shape. Upgrades that he's pretty much done, paint, a couple of floorings, new things. It's moving ready. But again, just we haven't had any negative feedback, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just more so of the kind of playing the waiting game.
Yeah, I can imagine that it's tough right now, especially with interest rates the way that they are. And it sounds like the seller definitely needs his price too, right, to make sure that he's not coming out of pocket to close.
Correct.
Okay. Well, like I said earlier, we're always looking to buy. We prefer to buy SubTo just because we own a lot of rental properties, and as you know, it's tough to get financing at reasonable rates these days. And so even if this is at 5% or less, for example, it might make sense for us to take a look at something like this, not this one in particular, obviously, given the seller's circumstances. But we're huge on protecting the seller. So, if you ever run into a situation where you need a SubTo offer or you need something creative or something like that, please reach out to us. Whether we're the buyer or not, we definitely want to make sure that we protect sellers. And I'd love to take a look at anything you have in the future.
Sounds great. I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to meet you. I appreciate your time, Robert.
Hey, I appreciate yours too. Thank you. Great to meet you as well.
You have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Okay. Bob, Michael, Suzette, what could I have done better on that phone call? What did I miss? I intentionally did something, by the way, there.
This is a test,
I
huh?
wondered. I think that's what he's getting at as I look at my notes. I didn't expect that part.
I would say when he already shifted gears towards he has another possible listing, maybe getting a little bit of that information, so you'd be first in line for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I transitioned a little bit right off of the subject property into other opportunities, what he does in the market, right? And what I wanted to do in my head was circle back to the primary subject property that we were calling about in the first place, right? To get more info. And, I think one thing that I did well there, and I'll get back to the thing that I did not do well. One thing that I think I did okay on was bringing up other opportunities first, which allowed me to circle back to the subject property and ask specific questions like, where's the seller moving to? How much they owe on the mortgage? He gave me the purchase price of what he bought it for a couple years ago, those sorts of things. So he financed it 100% VA loan, which means that he has to sell at the current asking price so that he does not have to pay at close, right? And he also needs his entitlement. So anything else you think that I could have done better before I tell you what I think I could have done better?
Nothing comes to my mind.
I'm there too. I do not know.
Well, first of all, this is completely subjective, right? So I criticize every single one of my phone calls, just as you guys do. In this situation, I think what I probably should have done more is focus on the seller's situation. What exactly are they looking for at the end of the day? Because in this situation, I had to assume that the seller was going to either come out of pocket or very closely break even on the property, right? What I should have done is focus on the properties that they're looking to purchase to see if there is any remaining entitlement. What I picked up on from the agent was that he did not completely understand how VA entitlements work, which I found kind of strange.
Yeah, he should if he works that market.
Exactly. Right. And maybe the seller owns another property somewhere. Maybe there's something underlying that we're not aware of, but that's what I did a poor job of, not digging further into it.
Would it have been helpful to just ask a question if he's aware of, I forget what they're called now, second tier entitlements and all that sort of stuff?
There's plenty of entitlement remaining for him to go buy a property unless he's looking to buy maybe a $500,000 property plus.
Yeah.
Even if he was going to buy a $500,000 property, he can use his remaining entitlement, assuming that there is some, and then also borrow more using his entitlement, but maybe not 100% of it. Right.
Yep.
So that's kind of like that second tier entitlement. So I think that's where I could have done a lot better job of, was focusing on what the ideal outcome is for the seller, which is not what he was communicating. What he was communicating was that he just needs to sell this property so he can go buy a new one. Right? What in particular is he looking to purchase? I could have gone further on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, do you think the agent would know that information?
No, but it's worth diving into and seeing what information we can get out.
Yeah, makes sense.
And he was a really good agent, Bob. So I would definitely stay in touch with him. He's going to have more opportunities for you. I love that he represented the seller on SubTo transactions.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he can speak from experience with regard to that. He's going to be someone that you definitely want to stay in touch with.
Okay, it makes sense.
Okay. All right, guys. I want to hear you guys call now. Before we get dialing, do you guys have any questions at all? Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, Suzette, will we go ahead, Suzette?
I'm sorry. So this is all SubTo all the time then?
Mm-hmm.
These
are all low equity deals, all low equity opportunities that we've sent to you.
Okay. I missed so much of it when your initial talk when I was working with my printer a couple rooms over. Okay. Whew. Low equity. I wanted to say that my list starts with the city where I live, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Am I on the correct list?
That's the correct list.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just double checking.
So since you're in Fort Wayne, Bob, why don't you give that lead to Suzette? And you can start on number 3.
Oh, well, thank you, Bob.
Oh, sure, you bet.
And hopefully you can get in touch with that agent. That's going to be a fun conversation to listen to since you guys are in the same city.
Okay.
So Suzette, what we do here is we mute the app while we're making phone calls. When you get on the phone with an agent, unmute as long as someone else isn't on a phone call so we can listen in, okay?
Okay, mute the app. Okay. Let me see.
All right, guys. Good luck. Okay. Start dialing.
Mute the app. I was just, since I'm not clear, I was just anticipating just dialing from my phone, and then I heard you say mute the app.
On the left-hand side where you see your pink and purple screen,
yes.
there's a little microphone button. You can press that.
Oh, my word. It's, yes, of course. Mute my laptop. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And when you get on a phone call, you can unmute. All right, guys. Good luck.
That way I can write it down. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.
Hello, Anthony. This is Suzette.
While the team is dialing, I'm going to include down below. Actually, you guys can look at SubToSafely.com. We have a bunch of resources there to help you guys protect sellers better in subject to transactions. I'm also going to put on the ticker right now, quickcontracts.com. This is a really simple way that you guys can create contracts very, very quickly. It's free to use. There's purchase contracts as well as assignment contracts on there. So visit Quick Contracts, QUIK contracts.com.
That's going to be where?
You talking to me, Michael?
Yeah.
QuickContracts.com. You can create very quick purchase agreements for cash wholesale transactions. This is Pace's, with his permission, this is Pace's cash wholesale contract, not his creative contract. And Michael, we can also spend the rest of the 30 minutes that we have here with you talking about what it's like to work with your ex-wife. You know, we can always talk about that. So.
Joy.
Joy?
Joy. It's like everything, you know, it's got challenges.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. So as you can tell from my zip or my area code, I'm up from Austin, and I've currently got 15 or so long-term rentals around San Antonio and Austin and Round Rock. And I was attracted to this because it's in New Braunfels, which is kind of just down the road from me, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Are you an investor or not? I know some realtors are and some aren't.
Yes.
Cool.
I am highly into the whole, investment world, and that is my niche.
Wow, cool. Good for you. I need to keep track of you as we go forward. So anyway, as you know, if you have as many mortgages as I do, the banks say, run away, run away. They don't want to deal with me at all. So I'm kind of stuck. So you've experienced that, huh? So I need to find an alternative way. And what works best for me is, I think this is a low equity deal as best I can tell. Is that legit?
Yes. So basically, because it is a foreclosure, and what happened was an investor purchased the property with a hard money loan.
Uh-oh.
And they started, working on the house, doing the bathrooms and stuff like that. And then they started to focus on their payment. And unfortunately, they had to get foreclosed on. So their payment.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's now in the hands of the hard money banks, right? And so they're ready to sell it. So
yeah,
they
I'll
can't
bet.
sit on it.
I'll bet.
Of course, it's a lot of foreclosures, you know, right now.
Yeah. Is the foreclosure market kind of your niche or no?
So kind of, I'm kind of like within everything, right? My husband actually works for the hard money.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so he's a hard money lender, but we also flip ourselves.
Oh, cool. Good for you.
We also have fees. We have, we live and breathe that language. And so one of the, and that's the thing, is that a lot of times, buyers or some sellers, they really want somebody that knows the, that type of, that to be, to know to pull permits, to do all of that stuff.
That's right.
And so, so that being said, yes, we pretty much do everything. We do, Airbnbs. We have a lot of the times whenever we do have a property, it is a foreclosure property from the bank. So then I'll list it. Sometimes the contractors will say, hey, this one's good enough to, let's kind of make it turnkey ready. It's pretty much almost done. Right. Rather than it sitting on the market and then kind of being real distressed. Yeah. It's a little bit harder to sell, you know. Right. Unless if that person has a vision and the team and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, I love when they have a vision and a team. That works really good. So
yes.
So as you can guess from kind of what I said earlier, I can't really go. I don't think I can make a because you can't take over a hard money loan, and the banks are a disaster right now. And if you do a DSCR loan, they're even worse than the banks. So it's really hard to make them cash flow. So what I prefer to do is do some version of taking over the payments on the loan and then taking care of the equity, if any, and paying closing costs and paying your commission and stuff like that. It sounds like with a hard money loan, that just wouldn't work on this.
It would not, exactly. Yeah, it basically needs to be like a cash or even conventional deal.
Yeah.
They don't want to, they don't want to be tied into it. They basically just want to sell it and be done with it.
Sure, and the hard money loan interest is at least the ones I've had before are really, really hard. So really, really high. So
yes, and that's the thing that some people have approached. Oh well, maybe that hard money company can issue me a loan, and then I take over. And I said no, unfortunately,
they don't do that.
Whenever it comes to this situation, they're like, they're pretty much like, because right now because there's so many, and it would be different if they didn't have so much at risk. But right now, because there are so many that they are having to, foreclose on. They want to just be done, and they already take a big loss, whenever they have to do this.
Right.
And so they rather just say, okay, we made our loss, but let's get on to the next.
Yeah, let's cut our losses and move on. Yeah. So,
yes, exactly.
So it sounds like they've got a number of deals that are sort of, for lack of a better way of putting it, going bad. Is that in this New Braunfels, San Marcos, kind of in that area?
All over Texas.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, wherever the the investor purchased, and then they decided, if they're going to finish or not, or get their team on it. The thing is, sometimes there's investors that are out of state, and they're not here, to actually check on the work and stuff. So they're not. But that's how a lot of times they run out of their money. They depend on the contractor.
Oh, we can't do that. That's right. You got to show up. You got to show up every few days and make sure they're actually putting down the floor you thought they were.
Right. Exactly.
Well, So I've enjoyed talking to you. It sounds like you're someone I need to keep in contact with. Do you have any other listings have listings coming that might fit from what I told you? And
not at the moment.
Okay.
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Well, listen, I'll put you on my follow-up list and give you a call, I don't know, in a couple of weeks just to see if anything else has turned up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Great. Well, I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Great job, Bob. Tell me what you thought about that phone call.
Say again?
Tell me what you thought about that phone call.
Oh, hold on, let me close the door. I got dogs and people coming in the front door. So I was pretty satisfied with it. I still don't feel like I'm fluent. I remember last time I started talking over on top of the agent. I tried to do that markedly less. I tried to do rapport building. Once she said hard money, I knew that wasn't gonna, foreclosure, a pre-foreclosure would work. Hard money foreclosure, that's not going to work. So I tried to then schmooze more about the market and about what she does, and then finally move into did she have any other listings or something like that. And it sounds like she's someone I need to keep in contact with. So I'll put her on the follow-up list and call her every few weeks and say, hey, this is Bob.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
I have a couple thoughts. Very few are original to me. I can only let you guys know that these were Kyle's ideas ideas.
Cool.
Say, Kyle, since you're here, what was your idea?
Hey, so when I heard that they were halfway through a flip and they're having kind of problems with finances in that sense, I'd be curious to know if there's a way we can work together in that aspect. If a novation might potentially work out, if we already have resources in that area that can handle this at a better rate than their contractors are working, or maybe our access to fundings at a better rate. who knows if we can come up with some sort of way to save the seller from going through the foreclosure process, or I don't know if they're planning to lose money, but maybe we can help them break even at least, but potentially partnering up and finishing this flip with resources that we can bring in.
Okay.
As far as implementing that, though, I don't know what resources we have, so
Yeah,
but that's an idea.
Yeah, Kyle made a great point. And a couple questions I would ask there. Why is this one not working now? A couple questions I would ask there are how much, what's the arrears balance? What's the total in arrears? And then also, how much is remaining to renovate the property?
okay.
It's going to give you a really good idea of if it's worth pursuing that novation route, if there's still money to be made.
Uh-huh.
She also represents a hard money lender, right? She's
Right.
selling it for the hard money lender,
Right.
which makes me think in this situation that they've actually purchased the house, like they've already foreclosed on it. So it's a completed foreclosure.
Yeah.
Yep. Michael, what did you think of Bob's call?
I just at the last half of it, I was talking to an agent about a different I think it, well, I'm sure she has lots of lists. She's going to have lots of things. I mean, that New Braunfels area is awesome area anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking to relocate to Austin here in the next little bit. Yeah, I just think just now that the groundwork's laid, just following up with her is going to be, I mean, there's going to be a deal there for sure.
100%.
Something's just going to line up right as long as that you get that relationship built for sure.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree 100%. In fact, I was talking to Kyle while you were on that phone call, and I think one question that you could have asked her is, what do you need in your business? She's an investor, right?
Yeah.
How can I help you? What can I bring you? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
And I think that would have opened up a really interesting line of conversation. But other than that, I think the call went great. Like Michael said, she's going to be a great resource for you moving forward. So put that on the list of, put a massive star next to her name.
Yeah. You bet.
Yep. All right. Good job, Bob. Let's keep calling, guys.
So an agent who says she knows all about SubTo, but is unwilling to present any SubTo offers to the seller.
Makes perfect sense.
Like when I asked her if she understood about, the protections that can be put in place, the tax benefits, that I know all of that. I mean, I guess just negative. So it's like, are you really not going to be able to get through to that person?
Highlight that phone number. I'll call her at the end.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No problem. She'll be like 2 in 1 hour.
Suzette, did you have a question?
Love the way Bob just organized it and how strategized through the whole thing, how he was going to talk. And then I must say, I'm going to go set up a business line of credit. My first, and I have an appointment right now via the bank.
No worries. Thank you so much for showing up, Suzette. We appreciate it.
Could we do this again? Can we do this again? Or is that?
Never. No, I'm just kidding. Of course we can. We do this. I do this every day, Monday through Friday.
Oh, wow. Okay, then. Well, I want to be on tomorrow.
We'll see you later.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, Oh.
I need to go check on my wife. I'll be back in about 5 or less.
No worries.
They're actively buying in the Atlanta area. And I saw this as a new listing. It's a low equity listing. And I'm just seeing it. Have you ever dealt with a SubTo transaction? No. Is that something that your buyers would be open to discussing as far as being educated on that?
What are the details of it?
The details, basically, I mean, the short of it is like what we would do is we take over payments for the seller. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's the gist of it. I mean, there's different protections that are put into place to protect them as far, from fraud and whatnot, which is people's biggest concern.
Yeah, as far as I know, they're just looking to do like a normal transaction because they have like plans for what they want to do with like the funds that they're getting some of the proceeds. So
With the proceeds, but
yeah,
no, when I was looking at numbers on it, it shows pretty much that the numbers are pretty tight on this one. Am I mistaken?
I mean, it won't be like $200,000 or anything, but they will make a little bit off of it.
In a lot of cases, we're able to come with money to the table. Like a lot of times we pay for closing. Definitely make sure you get compensated because that's important to us. Making sure the agents are taken care of. Do you know what they're looking to do with their proceeds?
Not right off. They didn't go into detail with everything.
I mean, because we might be able to help in that if we knew some of those numbers. I know it's really early on for you, with a new listing.
I mean, yeah, if you want to send something over, I can definitely present it to you. But,
maybe even like when one of my partners hop on like a 3-way call where we can make sure we I guess it would be a 4-way call, huh? So we go over the details of what it entails, so make sure everyone's questions get answered.
Yeah.
If I was going to send something over, something rough, let me make sure that I have your email here. And it's correct. THAMRICK at 5 Points Realty.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Do you have any? I mean, just offhand, do you have any other listings right now that low equity listings that maybe where the seller might have to write a check at closing, something like that? I mean, that's where this really shines, is properties that you're not able to move.
Yeah, not really, but I have 2 other listings that are coming up, and they should be pretty well have equity.
Okay. Well, I will talk to my partner and put a little something on paper and send it over to you, and then when you get it, if you can just give me a call back so we can go over any questions you might have before, because it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to explain if you don't you don't know what you don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll take a look at everything and then I'll get back to you.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time, Tyler.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of said there's a lot that goes into it. I would have. It's 2020, but I might have asked what details are you looking for?
You want to?
What information do you need help with?
Yeah.
Put it back in his park.
Want to say it here?
Sure.
I know that I'm putting it on the spot. Okay, Michael. Kyle has some feedback for you.
Hey,
I've made in 2 months because I've been really sick, so I'm a little thrown back.
It takes some time to get back into it.
All good. One thing that I noticed in the beginning is the agent sounded like they had a little bit of concern, like they didn't quite understand how SubTo works.
Zero understanding.
Yeah. And so he was kind of reaching out to you to provide some information. But the problem is he doesn't know what his problem is to begin with. So it's kind of like an impossible task for you to fulfill his concerns when he doesn't even know what his concerns were. So maybe if you just put the ball back in his park and just said something like, sure, what would you like to know? And then figure out what it is that he's trying, what gaps is he trying to fill so you can address that specifically. Because there's tax benefits and there's things we can do to protect the seller, but he might not even be thinking about any of those types of issues.
Hey, Michael, let's just get back on the phone. Let's think of that as a warm up, and then let's just keep on rolling forward. Kyle made some great points. The only thing that I also would have brought up most likely is, I think that his lack of experience is really going to be the struggle in this conversation, right? He said, look, I'll present an offer once you send something over or something to that effect. The chances of him doing that are very low. And the chances, if he does do it, of them accepting that offer because of a lack of knowledge on the subject is going to be less than zero, if that's even possible.
I Like I was I've got a lead one time for Landon Moore. Like I just gave it to him because it wasn't. But I was just on the call, and when he got on the phone, we actually went on a 3-way Zoom, and it was 4-way Zoom, and because the agent was new, and it ended up closing like 4 months later. So it was like,
yeah, the likelihood of something closing if you do get on a 3-way or 4-way phone call, it rises exponentially. It's so much better. I tell Bob this all the time. Anyone who's on this podcast with us, whatever we're calling this thing, it's really important to make sure that they see that you're a real person and that you're legitimate and you present yourself well. And Landon does a great job of that. So anytime you have that opportunity, take advantage of it. Good job. Let's keep rolling. Bob, in about 10 minutes, I'll call that agent Michael, I'll call that agent who is feisty. Just for fun.
I'm excited. Cool.
I'm nervous. But hey, why not? You're muted, Bob.
You said you knew Robert Townsend and talked to him before?
No, it was the other one, David Weiss.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's the one. I'm sorry, that's what I was meaning to say.
I've spoken with him on that specific property.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep. I called on one of these podcasts, and
oh, cool.
They were ready to roll, basically, but basically everything you said was exactly the same with me. It was he wanted proof that we were legitimate. We'd done this before, that we could show him HUDs and properties we own and all that sort of thing. That just wasn't a deal that I wanted to do personally. So that's why I just never followed up.
Makes sense. Okay, great. Michael, another question. When you're looking at the list and the interest rate column blank, do you call on it or move on?
Call. Definitely call.
You're listing on Pitchfork Ranch?
Okay, sure. How can I help you?
I work with a group of buyers in the area. I just want to be like straight up out front, and that normally work low equity deals.
Okay.
And we they're investors, so a lot of time most of our purchases are done subject to. Are you familiar with that?
I know what you mean, but not familiar with your company.
Not familiar with are you familiar with the process?
Yes, I am.
You are? Okay. Do you know if that would be something that your sellers here would be interested in?
I don't think so. He's gonna sell to buy another place. So no, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, oftentimes in that scenario, we can still help because we can bring cash to the table. If the numbers match up, we can bring some cash to the table.
Yeah, but you always guys offer very ridiculous offers.
No, ma'am. Like there is people I'm sure out there that do that.
Yeah, all the time.
No, we're the group I work with. We're all about full price offers. I mean, that's
looking for an assumable loan.
Well, no, it's not assumable, ma'am. It has to do with basically we take over the loan, but it would stay in.
If he has to stay under my client's name, it won't work because he needs to sell the house to be able to buy another one.
Well, I mean, there's lots of options within that. As far as getting the debt out of his name, where it doesn't count against him in his DTI. There's lots of different strategies that can help there, where we can make it happen.
Just
send me a proposal and I'll take a look at it with him.
Well, maybe better than that even. Is there maybe we could get on a three-way call where we could?
No, I can't do that. I can't share my client information with anybody. It's not allowed.
It's not allowed, even if you asked him.
No. I can't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. My office doesn't. That would be a big no. If you want to submit an offer, you can send it, email it to me, and I can discuss it with my client, and we'll let you know if we're interested or not, if he's interested or not. That's all I can do.
I mean, just my concern would be that if they ask questions about the transaction, that you wouldn't be able to answer.
If he asks questions, then we'll ask the questions later after we see the offer. There's no reason why to jump onto a call if what you're offering is not something that he is interested in. So if you want to send me the proposal, let's do that. If not,
I'm not trying to be defensive, Marjorie. I'm just asking. You don't think a full price offer where we're paying commissions for you?
Sometimes the full price are not the best offer, so it depends on the terms. I need to see the terms in writing. I usually don't discuss terms over the phone. There's nothing concrete in there, so you can put it on an email or
100%. If I just sent you over like a letter of interest and like an LOI, would that be something that you would bring to your client?
We don't work I only work with LOIs for commercial properties, not for residential properties. For residential property, you have to submit a proper offer with everything on it, all the terms, and we'll go through it. And if he's interested, we'll get back to you.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I appreciate your time, Marjorie. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Let's spend a couple of minutes talking about that. That was fun. Michael, tell me what you thought.
I got a little defensive. My tone was probably off. I probably should have. I felt like I was a little bit too aggressive with her. But also I could tell at her age that she wasn't really going to take any learning over the phone from a person either. So and I was turning into an argument. So I was trying to find a way out of the argument, and I was failing.
So anytime you argue with an agent on the phone, it never ends well.
No.
Never. I won't say that. It ended well for me once, but only once. And I've argued a lot with agents. I think the key for you is to make sure that you focus on what the goal of the phone call is. And what I mean by that is, let me just move this here for a sec. What I mean by that is, do you think that agent, even though she said she was going to, just like the other one, do you think that she's going to present an offer to her seller in a way that makes sense for them to seriously consider?
No, because she has no idea what the offer would be. I mean, it could be written out. I mean, that's why I can't put anything on a contract, because, I mean, sometimes that, like I work with like Claudio. You know Claudio Diaz at all?
I've heard the name. Yeah.
So like soft offers are for negotiating or something. He really rather go out with, and rather than put something on paper up front, because if you haven't done your research and stuff, your due diligence, you can get, put yourself in trouble.
Well, you can write an offer today on that.
Yeah.
And the offer is really simple. It's, I will buy the house subject to the existing financing at the mortgage balance at the time of close plus X number cash to seller at close. That's your offer.
Okay.
And so that can be a very, very simple way to write an offer.
Then they ask for the details on it.
But look, I think that even writing an offer on that is a complete waste of time. There's no way that agent is ever going to present it to her seller. And, one thing that I would do in that situation, she was so, what's the right way to say it? She was so confident that the seller could not go buy another house without selling this property. I would have simply asked why. Why do they have to sell this house? Well, what do you think she's going to say, Michael?
Because they want to buy another property.
Because that's the way it works, right? Because you have to sell your property to qualify for a new property. Is that the way it works?
No.
No. What could you have done instead? What could you have put into place so that they could qualify for a new loan?
Lease option?
Yeah.
Yep. Lease purchase. Yeah. Yep. You could have done a lease purchase very, very simply. In fact, what I would do most of the time, I run into an agent like that who is fire red, who is convicted in her opinion that they need to sell this home to qualify for a new home. The what's the best way to say it? You need to have people in your back pocket, experts who you can refer these people to, so that they don't have to hear it from you, that they can hear it from, in this case, where I'm going with this is a loan officer. Put them in touch with a loan officer who would tell them exactly this, which is they do not have to sell their home to qualify for a new home. They just need to reallocate, or what's a better way to say it? They need to offset their debt to income ratio in an effective way so that they do qualify. And the way that they do that is with a lease purchase. And if it's coming from a loan officer telling them that, as opposed to you or me or Bob, it's going to have a lot more strength behind it. Make sense?
Yes.
Anything else you would add?
That why question, like why?
Yeah.
That was exactly what I would have said.
Yeah, I like to put them on the spot and be like, well, why? Why does that have to happen? Michael, in the chat, would you mind showing me the phone number and the address of that red hot agent that you talked with before? And then we'll call it a day. Bob, how'd you like that website I built, by the way?
Oh, for the updating on the meetings and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, good.
That was good.
I don't know what I'm trying such trouble here.
Take your time. Just this site for our local Austin meetups.
Nice.
Actually, it's for all of them, but we can RSVP.
Hey Bob, do you have any rentals available, LTRs available in the Round Rock area?
All my rentals there are full. In fact, they're all full.
They're all full. We're looking right now for something for a little bit over there.
My tenants usually stay, average 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, we're looking for something for like maybe a year, and then probably just get our own SubTo deal down there.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted.
Are you looking specifically for Round Rock?
Amy, she's a nurse, and so she already has a job offer down in it's in Austin proper, but they said Round Rock is the area that's for travel would be the best.
Okay.
I just want it not to be far from the lake so I can go fishing. Yeah. That's about it.
So she's going to be a travel nurse?
No, just we've been wanting to relocate down there for quite a while, and this winter sucked up in the Northwest again. So it's good for that. Rain and cold, just constant.
Yeah.
So, Michael, quickly, Shamika, remind me again what she said.
She said, basically, she said she's not doing those types of. She doesn't do those types of deals. She said those types of deals are only done by people who aren't represented. And she said that she has already coached her sellers about those type of people.
Okay. Those people.
Those people.
Those type. She said those type. And I said, which type? The type that give you full asking and pay your commissions? And
Hey, Shamika, it's Mike Jackson. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. My friend Michael just called you about a listing of yours. He was, I think that he presented you with the option of possibly taking over the payments on a listing of yours, and he mentioned that you don't do those types of deals. I was curious, why not?
Okay, so like I said, I don't do subject-to deals, creative financing, or any of those type of methods when I'm doing a listing.
Mm-hmm.
I always educate my sellers, and y'all just keep calling, trying to convince me, and the answer's not going to change. The bank does not accept those type of transactions.
What does the bank have anything to do with it?
she did that to me too.
Oh, Shamika.
How dare you ask that question?
Which bank in particular?
Yeah, which bank is this? That might be the shortest phone call I've ever had.
Please leave your message for 6-7.
I've been blocked.
But is it? I mean, do you ever bring up? Is it not your duty?
Well, that's where I was. That's where I was going to go with it. Yeah.
That you would openly say you won't present any of those types of offers. Well, you're not doing your duty. You're not doing your responsibility as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just an argument.
But it's still unlikely to have the seller accept it with her coming where she is.
With her representation, yeah.
She'll say, I have to do this, but don't do it. It's stupid.
Yep. That's exactly right. Well, listen, guys, that's a great way to end it today, right? On a hang up. That's the first time I think I've been hung up on the Dialed In podcast. So eventful, to say the least.
Yeah.
Bob, Michael, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I appreciate it. I want both of you guys to come back. We did not spend a whole lot of time making phone calls today. And Michael, we got to find a place for you to live in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we're working on it.
What kind of property are you looking for?
Right now we just need a pet friendly. We got small dogs. A pet friendly, like 3-2. A 2-car would be nice, close to highways. Like, I mean, most of the schools, well, all the schools down there are pretty decent, so not really worried about that too much. And
do you have a payment amount or a purchase price amount, or?
We are not ready to purchase because we really want to make sure we get down there and
so I mean, if I find a house for I probably wasn't purchasing. So I'm thinking maybe I look around for that, but I don't want to go out and find a $100,000 house if you're looking for better. I don't want to find $1 million house if you're looking for better. And then I would buy and own it.
Yeah, I mean, our house here, is a $600,000 house.
Okay.
It'll be a rental,
Okay.
when we move out. But we don't want to spend a ton as far as if we're going to be renting a property. But we understand what the market is down there.
Right.
So
okay,
we're looking for something in at least a B-ish area.
Yeah.
And
how about B-ish Cave? Just kidding. That's where I live. Michael, by the way, I would not have suspected that you own small dogs. I would have guessed Rottweiler or Pit Bull based on your appearance.
We did some pit rescue for a while, and then we had, but the small dogs, they're easy.
You're
small dogs leave small messes.
You're a tough-looking guy with a big heart. I love it.
All right.
Well, guys, thank you guys so much for attending. Appreciate it as always. Have a great rest of your day. We will see you guys later.
Look forward to doing it again.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye-bye.